Hi, gun people! Uh-oh. My tattoo people are on to me. Somebody sent me this video. So, Florida is reducing their tattoo policy because they said they can't get any people. Maybe you can't get people because you've been firing people that should have never been hired because of what bathroom they use and what sex they are and what color they are and what religion or whatever else you're hiring people for besides qualifications and standards. Maybe that's why you can't get good people. But I digress. Let's get back to our tattoos. So, tattoo guidelines for departments, depending on the department, is they don't want racist, sexist, obscene, or otherwise offensive. So, all you people who are cheering that this is great, government still gets to show bias. Either you can have tattoos or you can't. What is racist to me or to you or to someone else will be different. And you can't please everyone, including people on a jury or including people you respond to their house. Okay? Can't have anything that mentions color, because if you go to another person's color, it may be bad. If you have any religion, you can't have it because another religion may find it upsetting. It's still BS. But we're going to make it seem like, oh no, as long as it's not racist, sexist, obscene, or otherwise, what that means is until somebody gets pissed off and want to complain about one of your tattoos, we'll let you have it and then we'll address it. Don't represent affiliation with gangs. Well, what is an affiliation with gangs? Because gangs are always trying to cover up their affiliation with gangs. The number 13 is commonly for some gang. And the way they cover it up is the lips. If you put a set of lips sideways on your neck, it really is the 13 for gang affiliation. But other people seeing it will think it is nothing but lips. So what is a representation of a gang? We don't know, because they're all hidden agendas. And it all depends on what it means. Okay? Criminal enterprises. What's criminal enterprise? Shit, the blue line flag, anything that represents government, that's pretty much a criminal enterprise. But no. We mean a criminal enterprise that competes with government. Oh, okay. Not visible on his face or neck. I've mentioned this several times on my disdain for tattoos on a face and neck. It's commonly associated with prison. I get it. Even in this video we're going to watch here, it says that old fogies that don't like tattoos. And maybe I'm in that area. I happen to think good tattoo art is very attractive. I think it's very bullshit to have letters on your fingers and bite me or eat me or, whatever you want to put on your hands, fingers, nose, eyebrows, face, etc. And by the way, I bet you they have a waiver for women for face tattoos because they might want their eyebrows tattooed. And that would be unfair to the poor sensitive women that we're hiring that can't do the job, but we want to be PC. So this whole article is full of BS, but let's take a look at it and I'll critique it in my own way that pisses people off.
To join police forces around the country. And of course, the goal is to not...
I got no idea who this guy is, but he seems like a little left-wing liberal, pink panty, light in his shorts, whatever. I don't like this guy. Okay, let's just get that straight. He didn't do anything to me. I don't know. I don't even know his name. I don't even know what news station he works for, but here we go.
To reduce standards and to recruit more effectively. Well, Florida Police Department is responding to the challenge by doing something that seems like basic common sense.
Basic common sense. Really? You're going to use that in today's age of ignorance, tolerance, acceptance, equality, somebody do tearing downs, you're open border. You're going to use the term basic common sense. That pretty much makes you an idiot. But I digress. His hair looks nice and combed.
Changing their policy on tattoos. Here's Eric Glasser reporting for 10 Tampa Bay.
The department's current tattoo policy only allows 50% coverage on it.
Oh, look at that. For a second, I thought it was a pro-Second Amendment. I wonder if you could have, like, the Betsy Ross flag or pro-Second Amendment. Would that be offensive? How about anti-Antifa? Would that be second? Oh, that might be offensive to Antifa. How about religious? Would that be offensive to somebody who is in the same religion? But I digress. Here we go.
In officers' arms, but lots of young people have full sleeve tattoos.
What the hell is that tattoo? It looks like a big ink block with a big tongue. Anybody know what that tattoo? Rick, that's a beautiful... Oh, look at that neck tattoo. I wonder what that is. What is that, a branch growing out of her chin? Rick, you don't understand. All right, whatever. She's got dreadlocks. Whatever, people.
These days, and the department's recruiters found it to be a top concern among applicants.
Oh, yeah, I bet it's a top concern. Hey, how about if this guy gets some tattoo hair on his head? Is that okay? He can't be on his face. Can it be on his head? Can we get some hair for this guy's tattoo?
Do lose some applicants that we think would be very good police officers.
He's full of shit. We lose applicants that we think would be very... You're hiring idiots all the freaking time that pass your shit that you think would be good. The whole reason everybody's hating the police now is because you idiots think you're hiring people that would be good police officers. But I digress.
30% of all Americans have a tat.
30% of all Americans have a tat. Wow, that's pretty high. For the record, I don't have a tat. I may get a tat, but at the current time, I do not.
Among 18 to 34-year-olds, 40%.
Oh, 40%. Wow. Must be good. If everybody's doing it, it must be right, right? I mean, slavery, everybody was doing it, must have been right. Rick, you can't say open borders. If it's popular, it has to be right, right?
Need of good cops, and we're actually going to keep them off the force because of how much of their arm is tatted up.
Oh, we're in desperate need of good cops. Really? How about we enforce the cops that are working and get rid of the bad ones? Why do we want to hire more bad ones in a claim that we need more police? How about we hold the cops that we have accountable? But back to tattoos.
Yes, apparently there are naysayers like Professor of Criminology Alex Del Carmen.
Naysayers.
Not that the tattoos themselves concern me, but rather what's going to be next, right? What is going to be the next step after that? Are we going to go ahead and waive somebody's background if they've been in prison only for a month versus 6 months? And before we know it, we're going to be putting people in uniform with a badge and a gun.
Okay, this guy's already an idiot because we've been doing that for freaking decades already. And he thinks we're not?
They should have never, ever been given that privilege of being able to enforce laws.
What? It's quite a leap to go from someone having a tattoo to someone spending time in prison.
Actually, it isn't, Mr. freaking dumb shit. It used to be you could not get hired if you were arrested, period. Then they said you had to be arrested and did jail time. Then they said you could be arrested for a felony as long as it's a non-violent felony, but it couldn't be drugs. Now they're actually hiring cops who have been convicted of trafficking cocaine. So it's not a leap, Mr. Dumbass.
It's also just an old fogey response to a
old fogey. How about you little young punkster?
Cultural shift in body ink. More and more communities don't care if the officers are tattooed, and yet...
Communities. Notice he said more and more communities. What kind of communities don't care?
It seems like the vast majority of departments have some tattoo restrictions, but now there are some sensible guidelines emerging on body art on cops coming from the Justice Department, which include ensuring that tattoos are not racist, sexist, obscene, or otherwise offensive.
Oh, great. We're getting from the Justice Department. We're getting guidance from them. That'll be great. That'll be clear as mud.
Don't represent affiliation with gangs or other criminal enterprises. All that makes sense. And apparently there's some debate over where tattoos should be permitted, like on the face, neck, etc. Look, I can see why no one would want to hire a cop with a face full of tats.
Why? Why, Mr. Tolerant? Mr. Old Fogey? What is wrong if somebody wants to tattoo their entire face? No. They can just tattoo their entire body everywhere, but not their face. Mr. Old Fogey.
Because that could be scary to people. But...
Oh, that could be scary. Tattoos are scary now? What about if it was a face full of clowns or flowers? Would that be scary, Mr. Pink Panties?
But generally, I don't really care about tattoos.
Unless it's on the face, because then that could be scary. But it's a leap to go to criminal. This guy's so full of shit.
Let's ask a tattooed former cop, my co-host of On Patrol Live, Sean Sticks Larkin. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you as well.
So what do you make of this?
You know, listen, obviously I am a fan of tattoos. My son, who's a 20-year-old young man, he has covered them himself. When I first got mine, the first couple were underneath my uniform, and we had a policy in place that states they must be able to be covered by the uniform.
That's what most agencies are, is when you're in uniform, they shouldn't be seen. And to me, tattoos make a statement. You usually don't get a tattoo for no reason, just to put ink on your arm. It usually has a meaning to you or to others. You're trying to make a statement. You're trying to ask somebody to get attention. You're expressing something, much like when you wear a t-shirt that says something. People are going to read your t-shirt. So when you make your arm a t-shirt and you start doing things, most departments said, look, we don't want that as a distraction. You're supposed to be a professional. You wear a uniform. You've got a gun. You got the ability to kill somebody. You're supposed to be a professional, knowing the law, non-bias, etc. And now you give people something else to focus on to find fault with you. It's not like you idiots out there being cops now give us enough to find fault with you. Now you want to give tattoos that people can find something to be offended.
kind of looked at it, it didn't say it had to be covered by the uniform, must be able to be covered by the uniform. So without permission, I started on my arm. And I was one of the first people in my department that did so. Didn't receive any blowback from any of the management. However, I do believe they should not be in our neck, face, or hand.
Oh, so he's a fan of tattoos, and he's got them all over his arm, but they want a neck. See, if I say, I don't care if you got tattoos and if you wear a t-shirt and I can't see them, somehow I'm an old fogey and an anti-tattooist. But because he has tattoos, he can say, I don't think they ought to be on your face, hands, and neck. And everybody's okay with that. It's so bullshit. You people that come here to always attacking me on this, I mean, I don't really care. I kind of poke fun at you because it's not as big a deal to me as it is to you. I just make it a bigger deal because I know it pisses off some of you crybabies.
Why?
I think there's just a professionalism about that. I know the cultural shift, everybody has tattoos these days, but
actually not everybody. 30% is what he said, but
as a police officer, there are times where you're going to have to testify in court in front of a jury, and a jury is going to be a mix of people from the community.
Great point. Great point. You cops have a hard enough time right now being believed because you lie so damn much. Now you're going to find other ways for people to alienate or to judge you besides your shitty actions out there beating up people and shooting people and spraying and praying.
You're going to have the 20-year-old kid that has tattoos. You're also going to have the 75-year-old lady who's not a fan of them because of how she grew up. And I think when you're testifying in court, you should be in a full uniform or a suit that covers up all your tattoos. So that is not a distraction, possibly to somebody on the jury.
So I agree with that. The problem is, why is he limiting it only to court? Why wouldn't it be limited to when you contact people out in the field and you go into their houses at bad times and you need to get statements and they're judging you? Why is it he's okay with showing your tattoos then, but somehow in court it's different? I mean, the hypocrisy in this whole article is BS, but I'll have people come, Rick, you just hate tattoo. Whatever. I'm just questioning shit.
Jury.
So what do you make of the Florida policy saying, if going from 50% to more on the arm, your position is basically as many as you want to have on your arm as long as it's not on your hands?
I'd like a poll in the comments. Does this guy have a tattoo? Because I'm thinking he's scared of needles and he wouldn't let it touch it because his freaking pink panties would piss in it. But I'm saying he doesn't have a tattoo. But anyway, he wants to be cool and support it.
Face?
Exactly. As long as it's not hands, neck, and face. I will say, I was part of our department. We had oral boards for recruits that came in. That's also the place you cover them up. You should come in dressed like how you are tonight, Dan, in my opinion. Come in as a suit. And we'd see people, they would come in for T-shirts, for a career and a profession where you're going to have to wear a uniform. There are a lot of politics.
It's not really a profession now. It's a job to where you can't get fired and you just get hired and you're another government flunky that isn't held accountable for anything.
Policies you have to follow, and that's the place also to have them covered up.
You told me that a lot of recruits ask this question about tattoos.
It is. Like I said, as you mentioned, we are trying to get.
Yeah, I got a tattoo that says "fuck the police." Is that going to be a problem with me getting a job? No, come on, we're open here. We want you to wear that. Why don't you just get tattooed on your neck? Fuck the police, and we'll hire you. Perfect.
Men and women into this profession right now. It is hard for multiple reasons. What really matters is the people that come into the job, can they do the job?
That's not what matters. Give me a freaking break. They haven't hired for that in so long. They keep lowering your standard, changing standards, just like they are with tattoos.
Are they professional? Are they doing the best thing they can for their community out there? The tattoo should not be the focus of it. It doesn't hold somebody back from doing what they can do. There just are very small limits.
Those birds look like they're fighting, and I think that's a misrepresentation of birds fighting. And I'm offended that these are peaceful, mostly peaceful birds, and he's got them to look like they're flying into each other, starting to fight, and that offends me. I don't think he should have that tattoo, because that's what you're going to be looking at when you get tattoos. You'll have idiots making stupid comments about anything you have.
That I think should take place.
Well, thank you for wearing a tight T-shirt into the studio.
Look at this guy. Thanks for wearing a tight suit. Really, dude? Are you hitting on him? Really?
Tonight, so we could get a good look.
Hey, I've got them all over, man. After the show.
Yeah. Well, you did threaten to come in wearing a crop top.
A little mesh crop top.
Yeah.
Get the full effect.
Yeah.
That guy looks like he's having a hard time holding these cards. They're a little heavy for him. You need some help? Okay, so that's my spill on this new policy on tattoos. I get so much shit on this. I really don't even give a shit. But I know it pisses off people with tattoos. All right, we'll end that there.